Hey guys, good evening and thanks for joining. Can you please confirm, am I audible? Hello?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. So I will recap in the last class what we discussed. So we discussed about vulnerability management. So I will recap everything and whatever we discussed about vulnerability management side. So first of all, what is vulnerability management? So vulnerability management is nothing but here scanning of the servers or databases or web applications and identifying of the vulnerabilities. Most of the cases, vulnerability assessment and management, whenever we are referring, it is applicable to servers. So we have to scan the servers and we have to identify the vulnerabilities. And after that, we have to raise the tickets and we have to inform to the respective stakeholders. And finally, we have to do the patch updates. So I'll provide what is vulnerability assessment and management and also a couple of other topics as well. So first of all, if you want to do any vulnerability management, before going to vulnerability assessment, scanning of the servers and identifying the vulnerabilities is called as a vulnerability assessment. And vulnerability management is nothing but here scanning of more than one vulnerability assessment scans is called as vulnerability management. Not only just scanning of the servers and identifying of the vulnerabilities, along with that one, even we have to do the patch updates as well. But patch updates cannot be done by us. Patch updates can be done by patch management team. That is nothing but either uh, whoever stakeholders. So that server owner or asset owner or business owners, those owners are either Windows servers or Linux servers. So that is about the definition of the vulnerability assessment and vulnerability management. So then what is the VM process basically? So VM process, if you want to do the scanning of the servers, first we have to identify the asset inventory. So for that one, every organization, it will maintain the couple of databases. The databases may be configuration management databases, CMDB, or maybe Excel sheets, or maybe through our service now, or any other inventory tool. So in case so any other stakeholders are not providing the servers list, and if you don't have the any databases related to servers, then what we have to do, we have to apply host discovery policy. I have shown already practically under the Nessus tool how to do the host discovery policy. We should contact the network engineer or network administrator, and we have to identify what is the overall data center range of the IP address, and we have to run the scan against all the overall range of the IP address of the data center, and we have to segregate. So respect to Windows servers and Linux servers. That may Windows Server 2008, 2012, 2016, 2019, or 2021. If it is Unix server side, so we do have the CentOS, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Docker, containers, Ubuntu. So all those will fall into the Linux side. After segregating the servers, then we have to share the list with the asset owner. Then finally, we have to make the asset inventory. So that is the first part. So under the VM process, first part is so identify the assets or servers, and later we have to go and we have to segregate the servers list based on the team wise. That may be application development team, product development team, or maybe machine learning team, or DevOps team, or TechOps team, and so on. After classifying these servers based on the team wise, we have to take the approval from the respective asset owner or server owner or business owner when we have to do the scanning of the servers. So this scanning of the servers also we have to do only in the development environment. We should not do under the production environment. Why? Because if you are doing the production environment of these servers, so couple of times performance issues will occur. And whatever application running on top of the servers, it will not run it properly. So that is the reason we have to take the approval, and also we have to run the scan against only on the development environment. So after running the scan, so after taking the approval from the respect asset owner or server owner, then we have to log into the tool and we have to create scan policy and we have to create scan rule. So in the scan policy, we have to give the policy name, policy description, and also we have to specify the CA sorting benchmark, and also even we have to specify the whether it is authenticated scan or unauthenticated scan. What is the authenticated scan or unauthenticated scan? It is entire question I said already. So authenticated scan meaning here providing the respective username and password and running the scan against the servers is called as authenticated. Unauthenticated without providing credentials is called as unauthenticated. So if it is a Windows service, we have to provide the admin username and password. If it's a Unix service, we have to provide the root username and password. So then finally, after creating scan policy, we have to go back to our template, what our customized user-defined template we created. Then we have to create the scan rule. Under scan rule, we have to specify the rule name, rule description, and also where you have to scanning. We have to save the results, that folder name, and also you have to specify the scanner name. And finally, we have to specify the targeted IP list of the servers. So then finally, you have to schedule the scan. So once you are scheduling the scan, so automatically scan will be completed when you schedule the date and time. Then the reports will come through email, or maybe directly you can log into the tool and you can generate the reports. After generating the reports, you can do the manual vulnerability analysis. Already I have explained how to do the manual vulnerability analysis. I have taken a couple of examples of the Red Hat and also a couple of examples of the Windows. You have to take the CVID. Every vulnerability report contains the CVID, CV name, CVSS score, very important, vulnerability name, vulnerability description, solution. That CVID you have to take, and you have to go to either NVD database or directly vendor database, or Google you can go it, and you can check the what is the confidentiality, integrity, availability, information disclosure, network scope, user interaction is required or not. All those verifications we have to do. And finally, whether really that business impact it is existing to your organization or not. Always you can consider CVSS score as a vendor, whatever it is providing. If it is a Microsoft Windows Server, then what is Microsoft Windows Server respect to that particular CVID score is this belongs to. You have to take that one. If it is Unix side or Red Hat side or CentOS side, then you can go to the CentOS vendor or Red Hat vendor or Docker vendor, and you can see what the score is provided by the respective vendor. Then based on the severity wise or risk wise, critical, high, medium, low, or informational, all critical you can raise one ticket, all high you can raise one ticket in the ticketing tool, all medium you can raise one ticket, low and informational just you can ignore it. After raising a ticket, I have shown that one also how to raise a ticket in the ticketing tool. Example service now I have shown you. Then you can assign the respective tickets to your server team. Then according to patch policy, they will do the patch updates, and finally, so they will do the patch updates and they will come back to us. We have done the patch updates. Can you reconfirm and you can validate whether the patch updates are completed or not. Then we have to rerun the scans once again, and we have to see whether those vulnerabilities are fixed or not. So that is about overall VM process. So under the vulnerability management, couple of additional things what you have to remember. What is the types of the scans? So we have OS scan, and we have application scan, we have network scan, we have port scan. So in the similar way, scanning mechanism. So there are two different types of scanning mechanism, authenticated and unauthenticated. Then what is CVSS score? So CVSS score is nothing but it's a common vulnerability scoring system. So it is a 0 to 10 scale range. Every vulnerability contains the 0 to 10 scale range. So that scoring system is called as CVSS score. This CVSS score is depending on the around 7 to 8 parameters. Those parameters are already I said just now: confidentiality, integrity, availability, network scope, user interaction, and also how the attacker is entering into the organization, like a attack vector and attack complexity. So these are the parameters CVSS score is depending on. Then what is CVEID? Common vulnerability exposure. Every vulnerability has a unique ID. That unique ID is called as CVEID. So then what is the plugin ID? Plugin ID, for every vulnerability, vendor will create one of the signature and it will maintain in the vendor database. So who is the vendor here? If it is Nessus, it is Nessus vendor. If it is a Qualys, Qualys vendor. If it is Rapid7, Rapid7 vendor. So these are all the vendors, they will maintain the plugin IDs in their database. So next one is what is port scanning. So running the scan against the ports and identifying the vulnerabilities is called as a port scanning. So next one, what is authenticated and unauthenticated? Already explained. So authenticated and unauthenticated is mainly authenticated is providing credentials and running the against the scan related to admin username and password if it is Windows, and if it is Unix, then root username and password is called as a so authenticated versus unauthenticated. Next one is CS hardening benchmark. So CS full form is Center for Internet Security. And what is hardening benchmark first of all? So hardening benchmark like initial security configurations or implementations we can do under the server side. That configurations and implementations can be done by server teams or asset owners. So why we have to do these configurations or hardening benchmark implementations? If are implementing these hardening benchmark from the attacker side, we have less chances are there to hacking because already security controls we are implemented. So that is the reason we have to implement hardening benchmark. So what are the famous hardening benchmarks we do have? One is CIS, Center for Internet Security. Second one is the Department of Defense TIC compliances. Third one is Singapore related hardening benchmark compliances. Fourth one is French based ANSI compliances. But very famous all over the acceptable hardening benchmarks are CS benchmark. So most of the organizations they will use CS benchmarks. So next one more thing you have to remember, 0-day vulnerability. Whenever you are going for vulnerability management interview, very important thing is what is 0-day vulnerability. So 0-day vulnerability we discussed under the malware category of the attack. So it doesn't have any patch update from the vendor and its undocumented library or package is called as a 0-day vulnerability. So whenever any 0-day vulnerability it is there in the news, as a vulnerability analyst, what we have to do? So we should go and we should run this scan and we have to identify whatever 0-day vulnerability it is there in the news, whether really it is existing in our organization. For example, take consider Spring Boot framework. It is one of the so third-party software or library or package. So maybe so that third-party library Spring Boot framework has 0-day vulnerability. It is there in the news or threat intelligence feeds. Then whenever this Spring Boot framework 0-day vulnerability is there in the news, as a vulnerability analyst, first and foremost, what you have to do, you should go and you should identify whether Spring Boot framework we are using in our organization or not. How we can do that? Just run the scan, on-demand scan, and identify in the vulnerability report, Spring Boot framework TPS it is appearing or not. In case it is appearing, yes, our organization is going to impact. In case it is not appearing the report, our organization is not going to impact. In case it's not appearing, well and good, we are fine. There is no impact. In case it's appearing, business impact will be there. Whenever any 0-day attack, it will be there in the news. As I said, once the vulnerability scanning is completed, after verifying the vulnerability, so in case it is available in the vulnerability report, so there are two ways we can fix it. One is a temporary fix, second one is permanent fix. What is temporary fix? You can go and coordinate with the respective network administrator or network engineer and identify business IPs and business domains. So whether really those business IPs and business domains, wherever it is possible, you can go and you can do the so filtering like a block listing kind of thing under the perimeter side, like a firewall or web application firewall or proxy or network IDS and network IPS. Non-business IPs, non-business domains, nothing but we are not doing business with those non-business IPs and business domains. How can we identify that one? Just you can coordinate with the network engineers or network administrator. Ask the what are the non-business IPs and non-business domains. Just you can go and block list those non-business IPs and non-business domains in the perimeter of the firewall side and also web application firewall side and proxy side. And also even after blocking non-business IPs and domains in under the trust zone of the network architecture diagram. So node to node communication or server to server communication under the trust zone. There are three different types of zones under the network architecture diagram. One is trust or internal zone, DMZ or DMZ zone. So third one is untrust. So once the traffic is reaching to the trust zone only, so behind the firewall, so node to node communication only we have to allow private IPs communication. Whenever the public IP it is entering into the organization, we have to block it. So that concept we can call it as IP tables. So we have to implement IP tables concept under the Windows servers and Linux servers. Only private IPs. Private IPs is nothing but organization purchased IPs. Those IPs communication only we have to allow. And most of the attacks will come through public IPs. That public IPs we have to block once the traffic is entering into the our trust zone. So this is like a temporary fix. And what is permanent fix? Permanent fix, once the vendor is releasing the patch update, we have to test that patch. Example of whatever we took it, Spring Boot framework. So whatever patch update is released by Spring Boot framework, we have to test that patch in the development environment. So is there any compatibility issues or any application related performance issues are coming part of the our application upgrade once you are doing. So once you are completed successfully under the development environment or testing environment, whatever new patch it is released by Spring Boot framework, then if everything is fine, raise a change request and implement in the production environment. So these things we have to do once the 0-day vulnerability is there in the news. Okay. So not only just about 0-day vulnerability, even you have to remember recent 0-day vulnerabilities. It's one of the interior question as well. What are the recent 0-day vulnerabilities it is there in the news or it was there in the news? So nothing but you should read regularly couple of websites like a CS Online or Dark Reading or India Set or US Set. So example, recently we have couple of vulnerabilities are there in the news like Ivanti. So related to VPN. In the similar way, we do have Microsoft related vulnerabilities, remote code execution. And also if you are going with India set, there are a lot of vulnerabilities it will be there. I have shown practically as well. And also even F5 and also 14.8 firewall based 0-day vulnerabilities, it is there in the news. You should remember two vulnerabilities and you can explain at the time of the interview, those two vulnerabilities, whatever it is there in the news. It's a very important question. So what are the recent vulnerabilities it is there in the news or else? Which websites or blogs or how can you keep yourself up to date? So that is about overall 0-day vulnerability. Okay. So if you are going for vulnerability management theory, it's a compulsory interview question. What is 0-day vulnerability and how can you keep yourself up to date? And also, what are the most recent vulnerabilities it is there in the news? Okay. So that is about vulnerability management and the patch policy. Patch policy, it is vary from organization to organization. Information security team, by coordinating and collaborating with application development team and servers team, they will define the patch policy. So patch policy meaning here, how many days we can go and we can fix the respective vulnerability is called patch policy. It's like a rule and regulation. Critical vulnerabilities, how many days we can go and we can fix it. And high related vulnerabilities, how many days we can go and we can fix it. Medium vulnerabilities, how many days we can go and we can fix it. That policy or condition is called as patch policy. So this patch policy will be defined by GRC team, information security managers, governance risk and compliance team, by coordinating the service team or application development team, they will define the patch policy. For example, at the time of the interview, you can say, in my organization, what is the vulnerability management patch policy we are following? All the critical vulnerabilities we have to fix in the 10 working days. All the all the high related vulnerabilities we have to fix in the 1 month or 30 days. And all medium and low and informational we have to fix in the 90 working days. This is the patch policy we are following. Every organization patch policy, maybe it will vary from one organization to one organization. Nothing but TCS patch policy, maybe it is different versus whatever Infosys patch policy it is defined. It is completely depending on what our client and also consulting company it is agreed. So that is our patch policy and patch management. Whenever someone will ask at the time of the interview, do you have the patch management experience? You can say straight away, I will not do the patch updates. Patch management can be done by respective servers team. Okay. Otherwise, you will be in trouble. Why? Because you have to log into the server and you have to fix the problem and you have to upgrade the third-party software library or package. So that is the reason. So someone will ask, do you have the patch management experience? You can say, for patch management in my organization, separate team it is handling. Server team can go and can do the patch updates. So that is about oral patch management. What is patch management here? Upgrading of the patch updates from the current version or legacy version and older version to newer version where the vulnerability is not existing. So that entire process is called as patch management by applying the change management process. So next one is CVSS score already I said. Recent CVSS score base version 3.1, that is the version we are using. Even 3.0 also we can use it. Okay. So CWID once again I'll explain under the WASP top 10 under the application security. I think already we did not discuss yet. So this one CWID mainly for the application side category of the attacks. So all the WASP top 10 category of the attacks, every application layer 7, application layer is layer 7, category of the attacks will fall under the CWID. That CWID has unique ID for each and every application related vulnerability can be represented using CWID. It's yesterday or day before yesterday entire question. So based on what parameter, WASP top 10, it is categorized and also it can be, so survey is completed. So answer is based on the CWID. So CVID belongs to the server side and CWID belongs to the application related WASP top 10. And vulnerability databases, so very famous vulnerability databases, NVD, National Vulnerability Database, CV database, MITRE database, and also finally, each and every vendor-wise database also. If you are using Microsoft-based servers, Microsoft vendors, they will maintain the database in the similar way, Unix server, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, or CentOS, and so on. So software update is nothing but here, upgrading of the current package to or legacy package or older package to the newer package is called a software upgrade. And hardware upgrade, entire hardware version if you want to upgrade. So that is called hardware upgrade. And patch already I said. And hardening benchmark already I completed. Plugin ID, vulnerability databases, licensing. Yeah. So vulnerability management licensing is based on the number of IPs. So number of IPs meaning here, how many servers are there? How many servers we are going to scan in our organization? Example, in our organization, we have 10,000 servers. For all those 10,000 servers, we have to purchase the licensing. So licensing here based on the how many number of endpoints or not endpoints here. In our concept, it is servers or assets. So if it is a combination of both Windows and Linux or containers or Dockers, if we have the 10,000 servers, we have to purchase those 10,000 servers licensing by coordinating and collaborating with the respective vendor. That vendor may be whatever tool you are choosing. So if it is Nessus vendor, if it's a Qualys vendor, if it's a Palo Alto vendor, if it is Rapid7 vendor, if it is Tripwire vendor. Okay. So now what is the backend lifecycle management if you want to purchase any tool? If you want to purchase any tool, not only just vulnerability management tool, right now we are discussing about vulnerability management topic, but even this concept is applicable to our endpoint security, network security, application security, cloud security. Any tool if you want to purchase, first and foremost, we have to gather the requirement. After gathering the requirement, nothing but example maybe EDR tool or vulnerability management tool or firewall or proxy or SIM tool. So after gathering the requirement, next one, how many servers we are going to scan. Later, we have to go and we have to identify who is the best vendor it is available in the market. So for that one, we have Gartner report and also we have the some other reports are available. Validate who is the best tool it is available in the market. Okay, so do the POC, proof of concept, and based on whatever requirement we do have, whether it is matching what our proof of concept we have done. So finally, we have to pay money to the respective vendor, and vendor will give the licensing to us, and we have to deploy the tool in our organization. After deploying, we have to do the implementation. So that implementation, we have to provide one of the IP address, and we have to integrate our Active Directory. We have to integrate DNS server. We have to integrate SMTP server, and we have to configure the scanner in case vulnerability management tool side. And we have to create scan policy, scan rule, and we have to schedule the scan. This is about overall VM implementation side. So finally, once you are scheduling the scan, then automatically scan will be completed and reports will come. So this is the way how we can go and we can purchase the tool. Okay, so and how we can implement the tool as well. So that is our VM implementation side. And patch management, scan template. Yeah, scan templates, vendor to vendor, these templates, it will vary. I have shown already practically under the Nessus tool. So Nessus tool, by default, it is providing 30 to 35 templates. We have seen example templates are basic scan, PCA scan, Spectrum meltdown scan, advanced network scan, log4j scan, ISO 27000 scan, PCA quarter scan. So log4j scan, there are so many scans templates are there. Those templates we can use, and we can go and we can create our customized template. What a template it is providing by the vendor, it is called as a default template. We can use the default template. Always, as I said, we can use advanced network scan template. You can choose it under the tool. And finally, we can create our customized template. Nothing but scan policy and scan rule creation. Customized template meaning here what? Creating scan policy and scan rule and schedule the scan. So, and overall vendors are available under the vulnerability management. Nessus and Qualys and Rapid7, Tripwire, Palo Alto, all these are different types of vendors. Okay, and whenever you are running the scan from the tool, how the tool will come to know server should be scanned? What is the backend mechanism? For example, already you took Nessus Essential trial version for 7 days, and you run your own laptop. So then you identified couple of vulnerabilities. How Nessus Essential will come to know once you are providing your laptop IP address, what is the backend mechanism? Backend mechanism, first and foremost, so what a tool we purchased, that may be irrespective of the tool, that may be Nessus or Qualys or Rapid7 or Palo Alto and so on, it will do ping. For example, I want to do the scanning of one of the Windows server, that server IP address is 10.10.10.1. And I'm using the tool name is called a Nessus tool. So if you want to do the scanning of the Windows server from the Nessus tool, first it will do the ping command. Whether first of all the Windows server is alive or not, whether it is online or offline, whether it is active or passive, or whether it is inactive. So all those things it will verify. For that one, we can use ping command. So we no need to do the any ping command, automatically tool will do. It will do ping command, and after that it will do TCP three-way handshake. In between Nessus tool to the water Windows server, we are trying to scan it 10.10.10.1. TCP three-way handshake. So sync plus acknowledgement, it will do TCP three-way handshake. And finally, once the connection is established, then only scan will be completed. If the connection is not established, scan will not complete. That is one also interview question. Couple of times you are running the scan, but unfortunately scanning is not completed. How can you troubleshoot? How can you debug? How can you fix the problem? That is also another interview question. So next one, I will explain that one. Next one, it will use ARP command, and it will use ICMP command, it will use WMI, and it will use, okay, so netstat. So these are all the backend mechanism, how the any vulnerability management tool run this scan for targeted IP address or targeted asset or server. So now in case the scan is aborted or scan is interrupted, how can we troubleshoot to complete this scan? So first and foremost, verify the configuration. Verify the configuration meaning here, whatever scan policy we created, scan rule we created, whether we given the proper policy name, policy description, credentials, and also a CS ordering benchmark, scanner information, and also even we provided the correct targeted IP address or not. So that is the first thing. What is second thing? You can go and you can verify the trace route command where the packet is dropping using command prompt. Third one, so we can go and verify the logs. So in the tool itself, we can see the logs as well. We can go and we can analyze the logs. So where is the problem exactly? Finally, after verifying all these configurations, verifying the logs and the packet dropping, then finally, still you are not able to fix the problem. Then raise a case with the vendor. Who is the vendor here? Whatever tool we are purchasing, that is the vendor. So this is the way how can we troubleshoot whenever any scan is aborted or scan is interrupted. Okay, so that is about troubleshooting part. That is also entire question, guys. So that's all about overall. Okay, so vulnerability management process wise. And as I said, one more thing, whenever any vulnerabilities, it is available in the report, it has a vulnerability name, vulnerability description. So plugin ID, CVSS score, CVID, NetBIOS information, when the scan is started and when the scan is ended, all those. So if someone will ask, will you do manual analysis or just whatever vulnerabilities are reported, will you throw onto the respective service team? So we should not say just like that, we can go and we can raise the tickets and we can assign the tickets to the service team. We will do the manual analysis also. Day before yesterday, one of the pen test interview question. Pen test also a part of the vulnerability management, but that is on the application side. Explain about entire vulnerability management process, starting from identifying of the vulnerability to till the closure of the penetration testing report. So how to give the answer for this one? So discover the assets, identify the assets, run the scan. Next one, so report the vulnerabilities, remediate the report. That is VM process lifecycle management. So in short, what is VM process? Identify, discover or identify, and also next one, so report and remediate. So these things will fall under the VM project lifecycle management side. And in the very lengthy analysis side, whatever steps I provided, starting with identifying the assets to till the confirmation of the okay patch updates are completed or not. Okay, if someone will ask what is VM lifecycle management, you can say, so discover the assets, identify the vulnerabilities, so report the vulnerabilities, remediate the vulnerabilities in simple. Okay, so coming back to this question, so will you do the manual analysis or not? Yes, obviously we'll do the manual analysis. If tool is giving everything, why human beings are required? If everything is done doing by artificial intelligence, so our machine automation tools, then why human beings are required? So machines will not do everything. Obviously humans are required to take care of the manual analysis as well. So each and every vulnerability, I will go and I will do the what the business impact. Tool will not give the business impact. Tool will not do the risk assessment. Tool will not identify the how much financial impact. What is the reputation of the company of the damage? That one human beings has to do. So whenever someone will ask, will you do the manual analysis? Yes, I will do the manual analysis to do the reducing of the false positives, whether really that vulnerability is existing in the server or not. Okay, so second thing is, so in case that vulnerability is existing, what is the business impact? Is there really any impact related to confidentiality, integrity, and availability? In case any impact is there, what is the risk is involved to the organization side related to technical point of view, related to financial point of view? For example, one of the vulnerabilities existing under the kernel, one of the vulnerabilities existing under, we did not upgrade server to latest version. Obviously in that scenario, so impact will be there. If the attacker is compromising that server, maybe $1 million or 500K USD dollars or $2 million is a business impact. That impact cannot be provided by our tool. So we have to do the manual analysis by coordinating and collaborating with the respective service owners or asset owner or business owner. That is completely manual analysis. And also we have to verify, is there any service unavailable? Is there any privacy of the data is going to leak, or data exfiltration it will happen, or data breach it will happen, or someone is trying to do adding or deleting or updating or modifying of the data by the attacker or maybe internal user. Those business impact can be done by us through manual analysis. For that one, whatever vulnerability, so it is identified, take CVID, go to Google and identify about vulnerability management. So analysis manual way. I have shown couple of vulnerabilities analysis already. Please go on to uh, re, rerun the videos and you can verify how I explained. So that is about overall vulnerability management, guys. So this is what I want to recap. And so now what you can do, if you want to apply any jobs related to vulnerability management, you can make a resume and you can apply for vulnerability management vacancies. So whatever experience you want it. Okay. So that is the last class. And one more thing also I explained before starting to endpoint security. What is the thing I explained here? So if you want to purchase any tool, okay, what I will do here. So here I will provide the vulnerability management roles and responsibilities. Here I provided, am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So here all the vulnerability management classes are there. Please go and rewatch all these videos and you can make your own videos. I mean own, and SS tools also there. Even Qualis also uploaded. I took the risk and all these Qualis tools. Basically I given training to one of the X company in Hyderabad. So all those KT sessions also I provided. In your resume you can keep both Nessus and Qualis. Okay. So and one more thing what I want to add here. So I'll provide roles and responsibilities. So how to explain about roles and responsibilities? VM, roles and responsibilities. Okay. So by end of the day, I can provide roles and responsibilities. You have to explain about these roles and responsibilities only at the time of the interview. So how to explain about your roles and responsibilities? So this is Ramkrishna. I have 3+ years of experience into vulnerability management process. Currently, I am part of TCS company and my client is one of the healthcare industry. For my client, we have approximate 12,000 servers are there, combination of both Windows servers and also Unix servers, part of Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So in my organization, we are using CMDB configuration management database tool for asset inventory. And so whenever if I want to do this scanning, first and foremost, I will go and I will contact the business owner and I have done the segregation of the assets and servers based on the team wise. In my organization, we do have the application development team, middleware, Windows, Unix, DevOps, TechOps, finance servers. So according to that one, I segregated. So if I want to do the scanning after taking the approval from the respect asset owner, server owner, I will log into the tool. I will create scan policy and I will create scan rule and I will schedule the scan. In the scan policy, I will define the policy name, policy description, and also I'll provide the CS auditing benchmark, authenticated scans. In the scan rule, I'll specify the rule name, rule description, scan information, and also targeted IP or assets information. And I will schedule the scan. In my organization, we are doing the monthly scan. So after doing the monthly scan, the schedule the scan, automatically scan will complete and scan reports I can generate. And I can do the manual analysis of the vulnerabilities based on the risk and impact and the vulnerability and threat wise. And I can go and I can segregate the vulnerabilities based on the critical, high, medium, low, or informational. And finally, I can raise the tickets respect to server owner or asset owner, and I can assign the all these vulnerabilities information to the asset owner. And later, respect to vulnerabilities, I mean, service team will fix the patches or vulnerabilities based on the patch policy. In my organization, we are using patch policy. All the critical vulnerabilities we have to fix in the 10 working days. All the higher vulnerabilities we have to fix in the 1 month or 30 working days. All critical or all medium or low we have to fix in the 90 working days. So once the asset team or server owner or Windows or Linux team will do the patch updates in the development environment, they'll come back to vulnerability analysis team, and I will rerun the scan. I will reconfirm with the server's team or asset owner's team patches are completed or not. And finally, they will raise a change request and they will implement the production environment. So additionally, I'm participating calls with the customer, shift handover, and also incident tracking, and also client communication. So these are all the roles and responsibilities I'm handling in my current company. So that is what you have to explain about VM roles and responsibilities. Nothing but whatever VM process I provided, same thing you have to explain about your roles and responsibilities also. Okay. So whenever you are getting the VAPT related vacancies, don't apply that one. Why? Because that is belongs to application side, penetration testing. VAPT is different, vulnerability management is different. Vulnerability management, when you are referring, always it is applicable to server scanning, and VAPT is referring to application side, like a pen test. So penetration testing. So that is different story. That one I'll explain under the application security side. So only you can apply. So vulnerability management vacancies are vulnerability assessment vacancies, not VAPT. So if you are applying VAPT, then so they will expect your code reviews, they'll expect your penetration testing manual and automated way. That is a part of the application side. Always whenever we are referring VAPT, it is an application side, and vulnerability management you are referring, always it will fall under the our server scanning side. So that is the difference between vulnerability management versus VAPT. Okay, so as I said, so by end of today, so I can provide the roles and responsibilities. Whoever is interested, just you can update your resume, and you can provide your Naukri update, and you can apply job vacancies related to vulnerability management. Okay, so maybe vacancies will be there from the Cognizant side, Jansar side, TCS side, and couple of other companies as well. So only even though you are attending the interviews because of the um, candidates are very high, competitive world, and because of the fake, all these things, your resume will not shortlist. Before shortlisting the resume also, so they are verifying whether really whatever company you are keeping under the resume, it has MCA number or not. Whether first of all it is a legitimate company or illegitimate company. Couple of times because of these reasons you will not get the calls. Okay, that doesn't mean that you should not ignore applying the jobs. Just you can keep on trying. That's it. Okay, so that is about overall vulnerability management side. Okay, so overall roles and responsibilities, and how to answer the questions, and how to verify the questions, and so on. And as I said, please go through all these videos twice or thrice, all these videos, and a couple of times even they will ask about in-depth analysis of the tool as well. In one of the interview last week, one of the guys attended. What is the administration port number of the Nessus tool? 8834. So that means you should know about in-depth tool as well. So then only can give the answer. Okay. So that's all about overall vulnerability management. So next, what I'm going to teach. So before going to information security, because information security will take hardly 5 to 6 classes. Thereafter, I will provide endpoint security. So before going to do that, first I want to explain about project lifecycle management. Already we discussed this one in our previous classes. So every project if you want to deliver, or every solution if you want to implement for any consulting and service based company to the client. So meaning what? For example, if you want to purchase any tool, or maybe if you want to implement any solution. So take example, maybe American Express. American Express need one of the firewall. So that project they given to either TCS or Infosys or Wipro or maybe Capgemini or Mindtree. In that scenario, before going to do the implementation of the project, what American Express team will do, what exactly backend process of the total entire project delivery or project solution, what they'll validate couple of parameters. So every consulting and service based company has a sales team, pre-sales team, design team, implementation team, and finally operational support team. So sales team of all these companies are related to consulting and service based companies. They'll go and they'll approach American Express. Do you have any security requirement or not? Okay. So maybe American Express said that, yes, we do have the requirement belongs to the firewall. We want to implement one of the firewall, maybe internal firewall or perimeter firewall. So then sales team will gather the requirement belongs to TCS company, Infosys company, or Accenture company, or Capgemini, or Mindtree, or L&T, and so on. After completing the sales team gather the requirement, pre-sales team of the respective consulting and service-based companies, whatever I just mentioned. So those pre-sales team, they will go and they will do the POC in the American Express. So American Express, wherever it is located, those locations, they will take the firewall, they will do POC, proof of concept. They will deploy under the American Express data center, like a testing environment side. They will conduct 2 weeks POC. Who will conduct 2 weeks POC? All these consulting and service based company. And who is client here? Client here is American Express. Okay. So these consulting companies will go and will complete the POC based on the American Express, whatever do they have requirement. And after completing 2 weeks of the time period of the POC related to firewall, then they need so technical feature validation, report validation, dashboard creation. All those parameters can be validated by American Express network security team. Okay. After validating, if everything is fine, then they will release the tender. Who will release the tender? American Express Bank will release the tender. Okay. Now everybody will participate in the tender. And American Express Bank team, what they will do now? So they will go and they will award the project to only one company. Maybe the example they given project to Wipro. Okay. Now Wipro is awarded the project belongs to firewall implementation under the American Express side. Okay. Now Wipro architects team, they can go and they will do the high level design and low level design in the American Express side. Based on the data center side, they will create high level design and low level design. After creating high level design, low level design, solution design by the Wipro company to American Express Bank. So implementation of the Wipro Bank, implementation of the Wipro team, they can go and they can implement the firewall in the American Express data center side. Finally, after completing the implementation of the firewall, now, so Wipro team has a firewall L1 support team, L2 support team, and L3 support team. Because operations also they given to Wipro company, example American Express. Now, whenever any security related instance or alerts will be triggered by the, okay, so American Express firewall, those alerts will come to Wipro L1 and L2 and L3 team via through firewall dashboard, via through email notification. Now, Wipro L1 and L2 and L3 team, they will take care of the firewall related security, instant investigation, and forensic analysis. So this is the way how the projects will be awarded and projects will be get by the consulting and service based company. This is the overall project lifecycle management. Any tool, whatever clients wants to purchase, this is the way overall backend process. Okay, so now I took example of the firewall. In our previous class, I think I took the example of the antivirus or EDR. Okay, so that is the only difference. This concept is applicable to not only the security team, this concept is applicable to entire IT and software industry. Not only entire IT and software industry, this concept is applicable to mechanical, civil, electrical, wherever the solution they want to provide. I took example of the Hyderabad Metro also. So state government of the Telangana or Karnataka or Tamil Nadu or whoever it may be, so they will place the tender related to metro implementation, and finally they will award that project to the so and so. So this is the way L&T, they got metro of the Hyderabad metro train implementation part. So that is belongs to civil based. So this is what I'm saying. This concept is applicable to not only just IT software industry, it's applicable to almost all the industries, irrespective of the industry. So this is the way how the tendering process, sales, pre-sales, design, implementation, finally supporting of the operations as well. Okay, so that concept is applicable to even security team as well. If you want to purchase any tool to our environment, we can go and we can implement all these respective processes. So that is about entire project lifecycle management process. Each and every phase of these processes also, we do have the vacancies. Sales team side, we have vacancies related to security. Pre-sales team side, we have the vacancies. Security architect vacancies we do have. Implementation of the tools, EDR, DLP, encryption, vulnerability management, firewall, proxy, IDS, IPS, SIM tool, email gateway. So all those solutions implementation, we do have the vacancies. Even not only just tool implementation, even once the tool is implemented, each and every tool has L1 or tier 1 or L2 or tier 2 or L3 or tier 3 vacancies are available. Okay, so these many vacancies we can go and we can apply. Okay, so that's all about overall backend lifecycle of the project lifecycle management. Now, next topic or next so next security technology I'm going to teach is information security, and after that I will go and I will start with the endpoint security. So before going to information security related to auditing or GRC vacancies, do you have any questions under the vulnerability management? Do you have any questions in the vulnerability management? Before going to second domain is information security. Do you have any questions under the vulnerability management and infra security? You can ask now. Otherwise, I will go and I'll explain about information security.
As of now, nothing, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
fine.
sir. Mm.
Yeah, Jaya, please
No,
carry on.
no, sir. No, sir. No questions from my end as of now.
Okay, perfect. So second topic is information security. There are so many vacancies. Do you know what? I will give one of the example, guys. So under the, okay, 1 second. I should not reveal all this information to you. You can see here types of the scans. You can see application scan. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
So OS scan, Windows or Unix or server scan, application scan. Application scan, we have one of the tool name is called GitHub. Forget about, these VM vulnerability management. Application scan meaning here. So we will take the URL link. We'll go to either Nessus tool or Qualys tool and we run the scan. And finally, we'll identify the vulnerabilities list. Okay, Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is one of the American-based bank, along with JP Morgan, Morgan and Stanley. So Bank of America, all those companies, even Goldman Sachs also one of the bank. So these company, they recruited 1,800 members as a vulnerability analyst, including in USA and also in India, only for fixing of the vulnerabilities in the application side. How many people they recruited? 1,800 people they recruited for just only to fix the vulnerabilities in the application side. Meaning what? So we have couple of tools are available. Those tools are example. Nessus also we can do web application scanning. Qualys also we can run this scan. GitHub also we can use this scan. And also we do have other tools also like checkmarks and IBM app scan and so on. So they will take the URL link. They'll identify the vulnerabilities list and that vulnerabilities. So we can go and we can give to the developers. We can go and we can give those vulnerabilities to developers. Now developers will go and will check the compatibility of the vulnerability, whatever vulnerabilities are available under the application side. And if everything is fine, they can raise a change request and they will implement in the patch. That is the application side. Whatever we discussed vulnerability management on the server side. Right now, whatever I'm explaining, it belongs to application side. So once again, under this vacancy, so tool will give the scanning part. Analysis can be done by a couple of people and fixing can be done by developers. Total 3 vacancies. One is for the scanning of the URLs, one vacancy. Second vacancy is analyzing of the vulnerabilities, one vacancy. Fixing of the vulnerabilities, one vacancy. For only analyzing of the vulnerabilities, they recruited 1,800 people. So this is the way how the companies will segregate. Even in our vulnerability management also, there are 2 vacancies. One vacancies belong to creating scan policy and scan rule. That is one of the implementation side. Second one is belongs to the analysis side. So nothing but scan will be completed, reports will come, and we have to analyze the scan. There are 2 vacancies here. Most of the vacancies, whatever you will get it, it's not belong to implementation side. Why? Because client or customer will not give access to you to implement the scan policy and scan rule. Maybe you will do mistake. So that is the reason they will not give the implementation side. What are vulnerability management vacancies you are applying under the Naukri for all these multinational companies, that may be Birla Software, that may be TCS or Cognizant or Infosys or Wipro or Accenture or Capgemini and so on. Everything is belongs to analyzing of the vulnerabilities only. So just you have to generate the report, you have to analyze the report, and you have to coordinate with the respective service team, and you have to fix the vulnerabilities. So by coordinating and collaborating with all these service owners. So that is the way how the vacancies are segregated. As I said in our last class also, there are 22 members are selected dedicated to vulnerability management vacancies. Okay. So this is the way how the segregation it will happen. But only one thing you should remember. So technically you should be strong, and each and every concept we discussed, if you know about thorough in this concept, whatever I explained, are able to understand about backend process and tool implementation, configurations and implementation and analysis side, I'm giving guarantee 100% will crack the vulnerability management vacancy interview. It's very simple and very straightforward. As I said several times in the class also, as compared to all the security domains and security technology, VM is very easiest thing and easiest job vacancy as compared to all other vacancies. So GRC vacancy and vulnerability management vacancy, these vacancies are very simple. Okay, so that's all about overall vulnerability management. Coming back, application scanning, this one I will explain under the application security side. Now don't get confusion here and there. Application side I will explain under the application security side. So that's all about segregation of what is meant by server scan versus application scan. Now let's start about, so this is the project lifecycle management. And here I am giving IS. IS means information security. So first I'll give today only introduction. Tomorrow onwards we can continue. First of all, what is information security? Before going to information security, first is what is information? So collection of the data is called as information. So data is very important to every organization. This one we are going to discuss under the DLP, under endpoint security once again. But as of now, you can remember what is information. Information is a collection of the data. That collection of the data may be based on the confidentiality and based on the sensitivity. How much sensitive to the attacker, and also how much confidential or critical to the organization side. So that entire collection of the data is called as information. So once again, this data may be critical or non-critical. Once again, data types are private data, public data, and also restricted data. It will vary from organization. So how they can classify the data, that is called data classification. Now information security, it will represent overall organization security. So under the information security, what are the different types of vacancies we can apply? We can apply related to GRC, governance, risk and compliances. So we can apply auditor role like IT auditor, GRC auditor, external auditor, internal auditor. That is one of the vacancy. Risk management is one of the vacancy. Third one is belongs to business continuity planning and disaster recovery. Total 3 to 4 vacancies we can apply under information security. I'm repeating once again. Overall information security consultant and manager is one vacancy. That means you should be aware of the what is GRC, what is BCP and DR, and what is risk management. Second vacancy belongs to the auditor role, and you have to do the auditing of the different types of compliances. So that may be internal auditor or external auditor. Third vacancies belongs to risk management. So couple of times we have to do the assessment. Example, cloud security assessment or application security assessment. So all this banking sector, healthcare sector, so they will recruit these cloud security assessment and security assessment of the application side. Nothing but we have to validate the risk management. I selected one of the Australian bank, so Australian New Zealand bank. So they need dedicated cloud security assessment. That means, so they want only risk management. Whenever any applications are hosted in the cloud environment of the Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure or GCP, so what are the assessment we can do? What risk is involved once the applications are hosted in the cloud environment? That is called risk management basically. That is third vacancy. What is final vacancy belongs to the information security side, BCP and DR, business continuity planning and disaster recovery. So it's like a whenever any business impact based on earthquakes or natural calamities may be tsunamis or tornadoes or earthquakes or tufans or rains are happening, how can we continue the business from the alternative side? For that one, we have to do the planning part. So for that one, we have to validate around 17 controls. So if you are validating all those controls, that is one of the vacancies. So these 4 vacancies we can apply. I'm repeating once again. Overall information security consultant and manager is one role. Auditor, that auditor may be internal auditor or external auditor is one vacancy. Risk management is one vacancy. Fourth one is BCPDR is one vacancy. So total 4 vacancies we can apply under the information security side. Okay. So before going to in-depth analysis, information, collection of the data. So under the information security topics are first one is GRC, governance, risk and compliances. Second one is risk management framework. Third one is BCPDR, business continuity planning and disaster recovery. Fourth one is incident response. So these 4 topics we are going to discuss under the GRC. So GRC, risk management framework, this is called RMF. BCPDR, business continuity planning and disaster recovery. And finally, we are going to discuss about incident response. Okay. So first one is GRC. So as I said, information security is a overall organization security, and it's one of the trending technology right now in the market. There are so many vacancies are available. And one more thing is, especially you can see GRC and risk management framework has too much of the salaries. So especially these banking sector, as I said, JP Morgan or State Bank of India or Axis Bank or ICICI Bank or HDFC Bank. or Morgan Stanley, or Australia New Zealand Bank, or Commonwealth Bank. In the similar healthcare industry, like a Provident Health, Columbia Hospitals, or Yeshoda Hospitals, everywhere, telecom sectors, all those sector people, they are recruiting these. Every company need basically these GRC people and risk management people. Now, these two sectors also, auditor and also risk management, I forgot to say Deloitte, KPMG, PwC, NCC Corporation, EY, Ernst and Young, all these auditing companies also will recruit. It's not about only one sector people or one sector companies. Each and every company is required information security manager. So information security consultant or GRC consultant or risk management framework consultant. So it is giving a lot of competition, especially on the package side. So even cloud security architect or application security architect or cyber security architects are getting less package as compared to risk management framework people. Okay, so it's one of the, that means you should be aware of all the security domains. Then only you can crack the information security vacancy. But you should not be like implementation guy. You should know about what is what. That is more than sufficient to crack the interview. They will not expect too much technical, but you should coordinate and collaborate all the internal stakeholders. What information security main role is basically what compliances we are following in the organization side. For that one, we have to do the auditing and gathering the evidences by coordinating and collaborating all the different types of stakeholders in the organization side. That may be application development team or network administrator, or maybe legal team or HR team or software development team. Okay, operational team. Okay, each and every team, we have to coordinate and collaborate, and we have to gather the evidences. Finally, we have to do the certification. It's like auditing kind of thing, as I said. Along with the auditing, even you will take care of the managing of the risk as well. That is called risk management framework. So this very crucial role. In case if the person is doing mistakes, entire information can be leaked and the reputation of the company will be damaged. So this person should have the, okay, so I mean, security concepts belongs to endpoint, network, application, product, cloud. So every security domain's basic should be there. Then only that person can crack the interview. Otherwise, it's difficult. Information security person should be aware of the entire organization security. So every organization need endpoint security, every organization need network security, every organization need application, product, cloud, server, mobile, OT or IoT in case business demands, and compliances as well. So if the basic is aware of, then obviously yes, you are ready to go to information security. Along with that one, even policies, procedures, documentation, and also giving the training to the all the internal employees of the organization side. Okay, so this is the way overall what it is required if you want to enter into our auditing field, or if you want to enter into information security field. So that is the overall, so prerequisites for information security vacancies. Okay, so that's all for today. And tomorrow morning, what I will do, I will tomorrow evening, I will start about GRC in-depth analysis, starting with what is governance and what is risk, what is compliances. Then we can discuss about RMF, risk management framework, BCPDR, and finally instant response. Okay, so that's all for today. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
What about others?
Sir, I have general questions, not about information
Yeah.
security.
Hmm.
Sir, in one of the interview, they asked do you work in MSSP or any multiple claims or only claims? So actually, I stuck with that question, sir. So what they expected?
Yeah, basically this is a part of the MSS or MSP. So most of the cases, any consulting and service based company, I hope you attended the interview with one of the consulting and service based company. Those companies are providing services to multiple clients all over the worldwide. So in this MSP or MSS, mainly security services, So they are providing services belongs to endpoint security or network security or cyber security SOC operations, or maybe application security, or maybe cloud security operations, and so on. So most of the case, these are all like operational support of L1 and L2 and L3 level role. Coming back to your question. So in this scenario, yes, I do experience an MSP or MSS in my current organization. Right now, I'm supporting for two clients. One of the client is belongs to healthcare industry, and second client is belongs to so financial based sector, banking sector, you can say. So for example, so one of the client you are supporting, one of the SIM tool name is called IBM QRadar. Maybe second company you are supporting, example, Exabeam or HP ArcSight or maybe Splunk. So why they will ask this question? So whether they want to make utilize from the different projects. For the client side, they will say only one person is working on one project, but they want to utilize your capability and also your skill set for multiple projects, like a shared responsibility. What do you mean shared responsibility here? You can work on example State Bank of India, one of the project, and also you can work on one of the project is belongs to Yashoda Hospital. So what they will say, you are only one person and you are working on the two projects. One is State Bank of India, one of the client, and second client is belongs to healthcare industry, as I said, Yashoda Hospital. So your consulting company will make or will receive the payment from two companies. One is State Bank of India, one is from Yashoda Hospital. So here banking sector side, they will show JI is working on the banking sector project. For healthcare industry, they will show Yashoda Hospital. JI is working on for another project also. But only one person is working on two projects. So this why how the company will get benefit? So company will get the benefit on the billing side. One is the healthcare side, and also one is from the so banking sector side also. Your name they will show in the two projects, and you'll get the single salary, but you will get only single salary. But your consulting and service based company will can show. So Jay is working on only one project. This is the way how the dedicated resource they will say, but you will not like a dedicated resource. You'll work on the two projects, and this is the way how the companies will get benefit. So example, when I was working in Cognizant, I used to work on 5 projects. One is firewall implementation, one is EDR implementation, one is cloud security project, one is information security project. So for all these 5 projects, I used to get billing to Cognizant, but they used to give me only single, so as a salary, single money as a salary perspective. So this particular concept is called MSS, but all those things they will not reveal at the time of the interview. They will ask like, do you have experience on MSSs or MSP or not? Meaning what? This consulting and service based company is providing services to multiple clients or customers is called as MSS or MSP. Is it clear, Jaya?
Yes, sir. At a time, working in two projects,
Yes,
which is
exactly.
the
That is called as
MSSP.
MSP or MSS. You are right.
Okay, but usually, normally the process is like one person is working in one project, and which project is end, then they will shift to another project. But
Yeah,
MSSP is working in two projects in at a time. Okay.
yeah. It's not like that. Maybe example take TCS also. Couple of companies, what they will do, if the person has not that much skill, they can utilize only for one project. They will give dedicated project. But you are doing excellent and exceeding expectations, so we can use Jaya as for multiple projects. So in that scenario, they will assign to one project, as I said, in example, banking sector, one project they will assign to even healthcare sector also. This is the way how the companies they will get benefited. So it depends. So as I said, my skill set is very high. So that is the reason they utilized me in the 5 projects. So okay, coming back, forget about all these, how many projects they can utilize or not. So what is MSS meaning here? Managed security services or multi-service provisioning. So here consulting and service-based companies are providing services to multiple clients all over the worldwide. That may be North American clients or South American clients or European clients or Asia Pacific clients or Middle East clients or Australian clients. So those consulting and services providing to multiple clients or customers is called as MSS. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Any other?
Sir, actually, I want more question,
Yeah,
but
please,
can
you
I
can ask,
call
no
you
problem.
after this call?
Yeah,
Oh,
you can call me after this call. That's fine. Yeah.
yeah, okay, okay.
Okay, guys, then see you tomorrow at same time, 7 p.m. IST. So thank you so much and have a nice evening.
Thank you, sir. Good night. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.